What is going on, guys? My name is Aaron, and this is the Game Day Hour. Welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to finally take a look back at Super Bowl 58, kind of analyze the game of what I got to see and just how I felt throughout the game. And at the end of this video, we're going to be doing a Dallas Cowboys hate piece. This is coming from a actual Dallas Cowboy fan, and I got a lot of things to say about both the Cowboys team and the fan base. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, let's get started with today's episode. So, looking at Super Bowl 58, this is actually one of the most stressful Super Bowls I've ever watched because I normally never have a dog in the fight, mostly because the Cowboys are never in it. But my second favorite team is the 49ers because of family. So, I was cheering for the Niners to win. The game for the 49ers, I thought their game plan was great. I thought they had all the pieces they need. But as we go through the game, you just see how it just slowly started spiraling downward for the Niners, and it was just disappointing. So, first things first, let's start with the first drive of the game, which was basically a Christian McCaffrey galore up until he fumbled the football. And when he fumbled the football, I was like, oh no, that's a bad omen. Because McCaffrey, even though he didn't have a lot of fumbles this year, he still did have some fumbles. You don't do that. And to be fair, everybody had poor ball security in that game. So what ended up happening after that drive is Chiefs take over in their own territory, and then Kansas City goes 3-and-out because the Niners defense looked incredible to begin with. So it's super unfortunate to see what happened later on, but the first impressions I got in the game was the Niners are definitely winning the game as far as like they're playing better. It's just the unnecessary mistakes because in their next drive, penalty after penalty after penalty. Eventually, they get a good drive going and they start out 3-0. It's pretty good, but it took them a while to get there, so it was still kind of disappointing. But I'm telling y'all right now, the Chiefs could not do a thing on offense. It was actually one of their poorest showings on offense since Super Bowl 55 because the Niners defense was just straight up powerful. They had everything they needed. They had a great game plan going in. But then something happened, and we all know that's the Dre Greenlaw injury, which I still don't know what happened. It wasn't a celebration. It was just he started running on the field and something in his leg gave out. I still don't even know what the injury is. I didn't take a time to take a look at it. I'm pretty sure it's a lower leg, ankle, Achilles type injury, which is just straight up devastating because had he stayed in the entire game, I actually would have thought the Niners would have won that game because he was the lifeline on that defense for the first half. So it's just disappointing he couldn't finish the game, but it's very unfortunate. And then the Niners get their first touchdown late in the second quarter, and it was a beauty of a touchdown, just trickery and getting Christian McCaffrey the ball. So he got his first touchdown in the Super Bowl, which was nice, and they go up 10-0. I'm like, okay, if the Niners can stay on this course, they should win this game, right?
Right.
Go into halftime. It's 10-3. Chiefs managed to get a field goal, but still pretty rough for that drive. And then you had the whole halftime show with Usher, which, by the way, one of the better halftime shows I've ever seen. Honestly, a lot of his music's great. Obviously, my favorite song is Yeah, which is just such a great banger song. And he had all the best people out there. So we get out of halftime, beginning of the second half, and I'm saying the Niners need to make a stop on this drive, no more than a field goal. And what do? They get a big time interception. Amazing, right?
Wrong.
Because what ended up happening is the Niners had two drives, and between that, they didn't score any points. They passed the ball 6 times. Brock Purdy passed the ball 6 times. They seriously abandoned the run. They moved away from Christian McCaffrey, who was dominating in that game aside from that one fumble. He was doing amazing. And you go 6 straight passes on your first 2 drives of the second half? I swear, everybody tries to change their game plans like, oh, they're going to be expecting it. Don't change the game plan if it's working. Now, if they stop it, then you change it. But they were not stopping it. So it just made no sense why they abandoned the run. And you honestly let the Chiefs just get to a great start. So after the interception, they get a field goal. And then their second drive, they stall. 4th down. And then the muff punt. God. Okay, it wasn't a muff punt, but spatial awareness is very important on the punt game. So no matter what, the person who's commanding the ball for the return team is the returner himself. He's pointing. He is pointing. And nobody around is paying attention, hits the dude's foot, his own teammate's foot, so he has to go and try to recover. Doesn't get the recovery. The Chiefs get the ball in Niners territory, and that right there was the beginning of the end for the Niners. Because you put the Chiefs in a perfect position. You held them to a field goal, and you also got an interception to begin that drive. So you were looking great, and then you do that. That right there was a killer. What happens afterwards? First play, touchdown. Chiefs go up 13-10. And then we get to the fourth quarter, and it's just back and forth. The Niners get a touchdown. Great. Brock Purdy gets his first passing touchdown. You miss the extra point. Now it's just a 3-point game. Again, it's just, that's unlucky. It wasn't a miss. It was a block, but still counts as a miss. The Chiefs go down the field and kick a field goal. Okay, Niners get the ball back. 4 minutes left on the clock. And I'm like, burn it. Burn this clock. Give it to McCaffrey. Go play action. Burn this clock. And that's what they did. And they really used McCaffrey in this drive. It was great. Time after time after time. Good play, good play. Get towards the red zone, and the drive stalls. Because it was a great game plan by Spagnuolo. Boom. Blitz on 3rd and 4. You got the play you needed. You get your defense off the field. Ends in a field goal. And I'm thinking to myself, 49ers, you guys were talking about how disappointed you were in your defensive performance against the Lions. If there's any time that you need to make a stop, it's right now. It's right now. The Chiefs went down the field flawlessly. I don't understand why defenses play this soft coverage. It's the most frustrating defensive thing I see because the Cowboys do it all the time, and I just don't get it. You're chipping away. That's what Tom Brady would do. He would chip away at defenses and just take the short balls and just keep moving down the field. I'm surprised nobody has tried to actually do something about that. And I won't lie. There were a lot of times the Chiefs had holding calls that weren't called, but that's besides the point. The next thing that I know is that Travis Kelce gets a great catch, gets within the 10-yard line. They almost score a touchdown, but towards the end of regulation, field goal, we're going into overtime, tied 19-19, and then comes the controversy. Should the Niners have accepted the ball or let the Chiefs go first? Now, personally, I think it was the right idea. The Niners defense just got cooked. Your offense is very well rested. Your defense is not. Give your offense a chance and let your defense recover for the final drive. I thought they did great there. And again, Niners start chipping away, getting close and close and close, and then the drive stalls again on another blitz. So back-to-back drives ended with a blitz field goal, 22-19. The Niners need one more stop. But then we got Patrick Mahomes chipping away the whole time. Big play after big play. They had a 4th down that the Niners could have made a stop, and then for some reason their defense just did not take into account for Patrick Mahomes. It just mind-boggling. And then the touchdown towards the end, and the Chiefs went on to win the Super Bowl. Ultimately, I cannot put this one on Brock Purdy. I cannot put this one on Kyle Shanahan. At the end of the day, the defense could not make a stop at the end. They started so hot and then ended so cold. It was just so disappointing to see. And it's kind of like the thing where it was on First Take and DeMarcus Lawrence was talking about how the Cowboys got tired. No, the Niners legitimately got tired. The Cowboys were not. That was just a straight up lie, but we're about to get to the Cowboys hate piece. So my thoughts about the Super Bowl, I thought Brock Purdy played great. I didn't think he played spectacular, not like Jalen Hurts last year, but I thought he did the right things in order to try winning the game. He didn't make poor turnovers, and I thought he played well. But, Brock Purdy's still going to keep getting the hate he's going to get. He's going to be a long-time starter for the Niners, so there's nothing to worry about there. And then the Chiefs, this is a dynasty. Like I said, it was either going to be 6 Super Bowls or the 6th dynasty. They have become the 6th dynasty, and now they're talking about a three-peat, which just makes total sense. And obviously, the celebrations go on. But before we get to the Cowboys hate piece, Let's kind of address the whole Chiefs parade shooting. Awful, god awful. I don't. Our day and age, it's just shootings are happening almost every single week, whether it be at a school, a church, a social gathering, like a parade. It's honestly, it's just really sad. So pray for those families. Wish the best. I'm not going to get do anything political about that. That's for other people to decide. For me, it's just a time of mourning, and it's just so disappointing to see that stuff happen. And now I'm going to start switching this episode over to the Dallas Cowboys hate piece. So, in the episodes following that playoff loss, you can tell I was bitter. You could tell anytime I talked about the Cowboys, I had a piece of disgust in me about it because I was so disappointed. That's the last time I am hyping up the Cowboys like that ever again, thinking they're going to make the NFC Championship. I'm not doing that again. Every time I do that, they find a way to screw up in the postseason every single time. The level of inconsistency by the Cowboys in the postseason. First of all, Dak Prescott. Let's get that out of the way. I love Dak. He's one of my favorite players in the league. But those two interceptions, he looked frazzled. He was playing how he did from week 1 through week 5, and I said, okay, if he could just walk away from that and start unleashing, that'd be great. He played frazzled again. I mean, get outside the pocket, make plays, forget the pocket. The pocket is not doing you any good. They're clearly not as open as you'd wish they would be, the receiving core, and you're not on the same page as anyone. Get outside the pocket, do what you do, extend plays. That's what you're great at. Why are you sticking in the pocket? He's stuck in the pocket so many times. He made some runs, yeah, but a lot of times he's just sticking in the pocket, making poor throws, and I'm like, come on. This is so bad. It was terrible. So there's that, and the defense could not stop a single thing, not even a cold, not even a flu. I mean, the amount of plays there were in that game where I saw a Green Bay Packers receiver 10 yards open is ridiculous. I mean, it's like there were no cornerbacks. Everybody was playing blitz zero. Send it. Send it. Almost every single play. That's what it felt like because the way these receivers were getting open, I was like, this is not the cornerback core we remember. This is poor. So two things came down. One, Dak Prescott didn't play his best game. And two, the defense played awful. Ultimately comes down to coaching, and they kept Coach McCarthy. They lost Dan Quinn, and they got Mike Zimmer, which could be an upgrade. Who knows? But keeping Mike McCarthy, it irks me, and it's really the reason why I'm not hyped up for the Cowboys next season. But the biggest hate piece I want to take it to is the fan base. Now, there's one thing you know about Cowboys fan base is that we're fair weather. We are as loud as a tornado when we win, and we are as silent as a room with no furniture when we lose. But this is the sad reality. We get handed by the Green Bay Packers. And we're sitting here talking about the Niners Super Bowl and how, oh, they choked. They haven't won since 1994-95. Oh, they're such a trash fan base. They're such a trash team. Are you seriously saying that after the performance we had against the Packers? There's no shame in this fan base. There's honestly none. We say the stupidest things, and it's just sad. Don't believe me? Go to Twitter. Go to Twitter. You'll find them. Go find the Cowboys. You will find those fans, and you know exactly who they are. So let me just address some of these things very quick. Number one, you're talking about the Niners not winning a Super Bowl more recent than you. However, they've been to the NFC Championship many times, on 2 occasions, 3 years in a row. 7 times from what I can remember, and 3 Super Bowl performances. I'd rather lose in the Super Bowl than get blown out in the NFC wildcard game against a 7th seed. There's no comparison. They're both losses, and there's no constellation. But a loss is worse than other losses. The Niners' loss was good. I mean, they only lost by 3 points in overtime to Patrick Mahomes. Jordan Love, who hasn't really started much, this is his first season starting, hangs 48. And we want to talk about the 49ers? Really? That's what we want to do. It is very pathetic from our fan base to do that. all this consolation. They haven't won since 94, 95. You might be right about that, but they have sure been knocking at the door. We have been just looking at it from a far distance and have not even walked close to it. So we're talking. We're seriously talking. We need to be quiet. And I see some stupid things. There's this one where somebody said, "Should we go all in for Justin Fields?" No disrespect to Fields, but you're seriously looking to get rid of Prescott for Fields? Albeit, I don't think Prescott's a Super Bowl quarterback, but for Justin Fields? And I was like, man, this fan base can be dumb. We can be dumb sometimes. We're in the 5 stages of grief, like with denial and all that, and just it's stupid. It's pretty dumb. And then I see Cowboy fans talking about Dak Prescott's the second best quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes. No. First of all, he's never beaten Mahomes. Joe Burrow has beaten Mahomes, so Joe Burrow to me is the second best. Jalen Hurts has actually been to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has been to an AFC championship. Lamar Jackson has been to an AFC championship. Even Brock Purdy, the quote-unquote systems game-managing quarterback, has seen the NFC championship game twice and a Super Bowl in his first 2 seasons, but Prescott has seen only the divisional round on 3 different occasions.
Really?
And we want to talk about Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the league. He's a great quarterback, don't get me wrong, but he's not one of the best in the league. And sometimes you just got to have to accept it. This defense is not elite. This defense plays great against bad teams, but when it comes to good teams, we forget how to cover. Happens every time. I'm telling you, even against the Seahawks, we forgot how to cover. When people say the Cowboys fan base is delusional, when they say that they're the most cocky fan base in the world, it's true. Well, our fan base can be the most cocky, delusional fan base on the planet of any sport. And then our fans want to say, "Why are we the most hated fan base?" Because you give us you give other teams the reason to hate us like that. Don't give someone a reason, and you don't need to ask the question. Simple as that. So I have no expectations for the Cowboys because it's just a pattern. Comes down to the team playing good in the regular season, sucking in the playoffs, and the fans going in their occasional "we them boys, this is our year" to excuses, haha, you lost in the Super Bowl. So do I have any expectations? No. I think Patrick Mahomes is potentially going to three-peat. I think the Niners will be back. They'll probably still be a Super Bowl contending team. And we're just going to sit here wondering what's going on. This is probably the most I've ranted in a video ever. And you know what? The Cowboys fan base is the reason why. Because that fan base needs to be humbled. I never said that about many people, but some people need to be humbled, especially in our fan base. Just saying, let reality hit you at some point. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And if you do, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Again, congratulations to the Chiefs. Cowboys fan base, you need to chill out, and prayers out to the people affected by the Kansas City shooting, as always. Go follow me on all my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and be sure you're sending me questions in TikTok and Twitter if you want to ask questions. I do want to answer questions, but I hope people are just willing to ask questions. So we'll see. Anyways, that'll do it for me. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, and goodbye.